Good morning all. We are currently up on the Summit Road here. Currently about 20 to 7 and it's about 2 degrees. So what we'll do today is we're going to go for a walk that I've wanted to do a video on for a while, which is the closed part of the Summit Road here. Most of you will know about the devastating Christchurch earthquakes back in 2010, 2011. So yeah, the road up here was damaged quite a lot. So that's looking down towards the Littleton side of the Port Hills. So in theory, it's about 5 kilometres each way. So we're going to be up here for a little bit. Perfect time of the day to do this because there aren't many people around. And of course, it's nice and cool. So we're in about mid-September here at the moment. And yeah, certainly a nice temperature. So yeah, feel free to come and join us on this adventure. If we flip the camera around, that's pretty much what you're looking at. Gravel car park up there, the gates, and that's looking out towards Christchurch. So we're now on the closed part. You can see the gates behind me. Beautiful morning here. A couple of people out exploring already, but yeah, no doubt we'll run into more. Being a closed road, it's very popular with cyclists and stuff, so no doubt we'll run into a few of them later on. But yeah, so like I say, this part of the Summit Road here has been closed for a number of years now, mainly due to the Christchurch earthquakes. The damage in this area that we're in at the moment isn't too bad at all. In fact, it's probably better than some of the currently open Summit Road between here and Dyer's Pass. So yeah, the damaged pieces you'll see later in the video when we get up the other end. They're not too bad in places, but yeah, in one spot, yeah, you'd be lucky to get a car through, let alone 2 lanes of traffic. So, but as I say, more to come on that one. And again, if we spin around, we can see down into Christchurch there. Again, absolutely beautiful morning. Little bit of a thin fog hanging over the city this morning, but yeah, it's not too bad. So you can see the road condition here is it's pretty good. In terms of hills, it's not too bad walking this way, so I'm starting at the Dyer's Pass end. If I started at the gondola end, yeah, there's a big hill. So we've got a big hill to climb on the way back, but yeah, shouldn't be too bad. In theory, temperature shouldn't get up above about 9-10 degrees while I'm doing this. So as you can see, we've come out into the sun here as we come around the hill. And again, if we spin around, you can see Christchurch down there. Absolutely beautiful morning. But yeah, again, I'd recommend this walk for anyone who's keen to come and have a look. Certainly some beautiful views, especially on a nice day. you do kind of want to pick your timings though. Yesterday afternoon I had the afternoon off work. Thought I'll come up here. Had a look at the wind readings, and it was about 25-30k winds, gusting at 40 or 50, and yeah, as you can see, there's not a hell of a lot of protection up here. So yeah, like I say, it doesn't pay to be up here on those sort of days. Having done a walk up here before with winds like that, it's not very pleasant. So you can see the road kind of follows around the hill. It does wind around a little bit. But yeah, results in some beautiful views. So again, this is a little bit further up, that's looking towards Littleton there. Again, absolutely stunning morning. You would think I'd be warm. It's cold. My hand freezes every time I go to stop the camera, unless I get my finger in the right place, because coincidentally there is a slight small position on one of my fingers that actually works with touch screens. Handy feature, but it's also where fur is missing, because I keep poking at things like screens, but that's all good. So in terms of yeah, what I've been up to lately, obviously you'll see on the YouTube channel lots of travelling around the country with my loco. Really enjoying going around and supporting these other clubs. Some fantastic setups out there. It's good to get a run in at Timaru a couple of weeks back. Can't see where I'm going. And yeah, brilliant club down there, absolutely awesome. Everyone gets involved. Same with Hokitika. We're back off there next weekend, 23rd, 24th September, doing a run for the introduction of daylight savings. Yes, believe it or not, New Zealand has had winter lately. Some real crappy weather. Nice to get some fine weather for a change. Thankfully most of the road trips have been met with good weather. Most of the rain seems to happen overnight. We did get caught in Blenheim back in July, later on the Sunday. A couple of showers passed through. Nothing too major, but it made climbing the hill out of the tunnel back into the station a little bit entertaining. But that's alright. It is what it is. So if you follow my Facebook page, you would have noted that I haven't really been out in suit much since Furdoo. Trains is the reason why. Plus of course winter, dodgy weather. But again, it is what it is. You can't really change it. At the end of the day, you've got to make the most of it. So if we turn the camera around, you can actually see where we're going. Hopefully you can see, because you'll have better vision than me. Yes, we are climbing. So there is justification for my panting. Alrighty, so I'll come up the road a bit further and start to see Christchurch again after it being hidden by the hills, and looking back down the other side. Sun's currently in behind a cloud at the moment, which is a good thing, because it means I can actually see where I'm going, which apparently is quite helpful. So yeah, like I say, stunning morning here. Absolutely beautiful. So one of the first times I did this in Suit, I think this is now my third or fourth, one of the two. One of the first times I did this in Suit, it was direct sun in about March, and when we got back to the vehicles it was 22 degrees, and as you've seen so far, there's not a hell of a lot of protection up here. Needless to say, I lost a bit of weight that day. I put myself on the showers at work on the Friday, and then we did this walk on a Sunday morning, I think it was. On Monday, I weighed about 1.5 kilos less than what I did on the Friday. And again, easy to see why I like coming up here. Gorgeous view. But yeah, it was very nearly a head-off moment. It was close. I also have my relay backpack on me at the moment. Holds all the supplies I need, drink bottle, and of course the all valuable car keys. Fantastic pack, absolutely brilliant. When I don't have anything in it, I've actually got a removable pillow that's coloured to look like body internals, spine and all of that sort of stuff, which is really cool. So as you can tell, we're going up another hill. Not too bad. It's more the one coming back the other way on the other side that I'm a little bit more concerned about. But again, at least we're doing this at a temperature that's now about 3 or 4 degrees as opposed to 20 odd degrees. My handler actually plonked out halfway up the big hill. I barely made it to the top myself. That's a grueling hill, long and consistent, as you'll see shortly. But yeah, there were a couple of cyclists that came past. One of them actually offered him their water bottle, because yeah, he kind of forgot to bring his own, and yeah, I didn't find out about him till I got to the top and turned around and was like, where's Monkey? And yeah, about halfway down the hill, but yeah, that's the only real time that I've had issues while doing these. Obviously it's been a while since I last did the Suitwalk. We all remember the big walks we did during the 2020 and 21 lockdowns, level 4. Warming up. But yeah, I'd love to visit Prebbleton again with the rail trail. Go and see if anything's changed out there. Also Little River, the rail trail out towards there. See if we can walk part of it. Again, beautiful area. It's a little bit flatter than this, I believe. So you can see where we've come, way down the hill. Quite a popular photo I love is taken just up here with me with my sunglasses on, going something like that. So yeah, if you follow the Facebook page, you'll know the rough area that I'm in. Again, Summit Road on the Port Hills in Christchurch. Very popular with walkers, cyclists, mountain bikers, runners, you name it. And yes, you get the odd motorbike. So to give you a better view without the big fluffy thing in the way, this is where we are, almost at the top of this hill. Right, so we're now at the top of the hill, so going around a bit. So this is the big hill that I was telling you about before that we had issues climbing. The bottom of it is way down there. And again, if we turn around, way down in that little valley area where the two hills sort of meet, that's the low point. And then the termination of the walk is around on the other side of that hill. And that's the Christchurch gondola coming up. So yeah, we're starting down the hill. Funnily enough, it's a little bit easier. The heart rate certainly gets up walking up these hills in the suit. But it's good because, you know, it makes up for all the gym workouts that I've missed. I do miss going to the gym, but yeah, with work and weather and that, different things going on, mental health ever so slightly, yeah, haven't really been feeling up to it. The other thing that's happened lately, certainly since my last Suitwalk video, was my cat Trouble back in New Plymouth. Just over a year ago, the memory popped up the other day, just over a year ago he developed some concerning signs, shall we say, and yeah, he was quite lethargic, lazing around, which is very unusual for him. that cat was on the go all the time. Exact opposite as me. I'm a fat dog. He was a skinny cat. Jesus, he was active. Not really affectionate, but when he was in the mood, you were dead. He was all over you, getting in and under your feet. Yeah. So yeah, we started lazing around and started getting a little bit grouchy. So my mum took him to the vets one day. It was a I don't even remember what day it was. Probably a Wednesday or a Thursday, I think. And yeah, they did a bit of investigating, and unfortunately discovered a rather large cancerous lump around his hindquarters area, I believe. And yeah, first I knew about it, I finished work, I had a missed call from Mum and a voice message with her holding back tears on the other end, asking me to ring her. Lo and behold, rang her, and yeah, they'd put him down, put him to sleep, which is, yeah, I was absolutely devastated, you know. It wasn't a happy moment at all. He, yeah, he went to sleep quite quickly though, so you take a bit of comfort knowing that he's now at peace. But yeah, it's certainly not something I really wanted to go through. But yeah, I haven't been up to visit his grave site in my parents' backyard yet. It's on the list of things to do. But yeah, it just goes to show you never know what's coming. When I came back from Blenheim a couple of weeks ago, had an email come in just as we passed through Waipara. One of the model engineers had suffered a brain bleed and a stroke, and was in a coma in hospital. So that was on Sunday night. Saturday afternoon he was all happy. The week before he was out running his train for the night run, Big Alaska. And here Saturday night things went downhill quite quickly, I believe. And yeah, unfortunately passed away on Tuesday morning last week. So yeah, last Friday I had the sad duty of going to his funeral. But again, goes to show you never know what's coming. You never know. Make the most of every day. So we've come a wee way down the hill, we've got a fair way to go, and that's looking back up. Probably almost halfway down. So yeah, we just had a look at the history of my walking up here. 21st of May last year was the last time I was up here in Suit. That wasn't the 22-degree time. That one, from memory, I was doing a virtual around the bays marathon. It was an 8-kilometre walk. So we're now around the 3.5k mark. Pioneer Women's Memorial. So yeah, we've still got at least another 6k to go. Not far away from the end of the closed part of the summit road here. Basically just around the other side of that next hill. And if we spin the camera around, so that's looking down into the Heathcote Valley. back up the hill, and the Pioneer Women's Memorial. So yeah, if we're talking about road condition, as you can see, it's not too bad. So I'm not 100% sure why the road is closed up to the Pioneer Women's Memorial. However, out this side of it, between here and the other gates at the end of the closed part, it's fairly easy to see why. And you'll see that very shortly. The other unique thing about this piece is we've got a cattle stop coming up. Not a major problem, we can either walk over it or walk around the side. Alrighty, now we're in the shade, I can actually see what I'm doing. So, yeah, again looking back, you can see the big hill that we climbed. Maybe able to see part of the bridle path coming up the hill. Bridle path was the way over the hill for the early settlers in Canterbury. Of course, the Littleton Tunnel didn't exist at that point, so a lot of the materials and that to build the early Christchurch a couple of hundred years ago, yeah, that's how they came over, was the bridle path. So having turned the corner, we can see where the road heads. Gondolas are already in operation. So again, we're a little bit further around now, about to pass under the gondola. We'll also note a safety guardrail coming into shot here. Have a look at the state of it. Around this area, some rather large rocks, I believe, came tumbling down the hill. And yeah, you can see the impact of those. So we're now right underneath the gondola. So that's looking down towards the base station, and then up the hill towards the top station. So here's the state of the guardrail. As you can see, one or two problems. And if we wander up here a little bit further, you can actually see the guardrail has completely gone. Not a heck of a lot stopping you from falling down. And again, most of this is damage from the Christchurch earthquakes. Alrighty, so we'll carry on around a bit further. So again, fairly easy to see why the road here is closed at the moment. So this is the area that I mentioned just before. As you can see, barely enough room for one vehicle. So yeah, a couple of things to be wary of in this area. Obviously, falling rocks. Being quite narrow, with a lot of cyclists coming through here. Just keep an ear out for them. Most of them would slow down and are pretty good. Others just zoom past and abuse the living daylights out of you, completely not giving a toss. And the other thing, as you may have heard already in the video and seen, there is livestock grazing along the side of the road. So occasionally the livestock gravitates onto the road and leaves their little droppings on the road. So yeah, just keep an eye out where you put your feet. It's not too bad, but yeah. The main issue again is the fact that it is quite a narrow area. So yeah, space is at a bit of a premium. When you get some cyclists coming down here, they'll stay too wide, even when you're 10 metres away from them. It's quite daunting. So yeah, if we spin around and have a look, getting better views of Christchurch as we go, and that's looking further up the road. If we spin it around without the giant fluffy thing in the way, again you can see the condition of the road. Patches everywhere, clearly evident of rockfall damage. Certainly wouldn't want to be trying to drive down here. You'd wreck your tyres and your suspension. But again, easy to see why they haven't reopened this piece. I suspect if they did try, there'd be a fair bit of backlash. If we spin around, that's the worst piece. So yeah, we're just coming up to the gates at the end of the closed part. So we're now on the road. If you follow this down, take you down to Evans Pass, down towards Sumner. You might be able to see the evident wildlife. So if we spin around without the giant fluffy thing in the way, evident wildlife, and yeah, gates on the end of the closed part. So we've done about 5 kilometres so far, and now it's turn to turn around and do it all again. Alrighty, so we'll now turn around and head back the other way. You may find a few of these shots are somewhat silhouette type. So you get the sun behind me. It's on the rise obviously, so hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, absolutely stunning morning. The road's exactly how I remember it. Nothing much has changed. But yeah, it'd certainly be nice to get the road back open again for vehicle traffic. But yeah, again I suspect a lot of the regular users of the this disused part now, the closed part, cyclists, walkers, runners, hikers, a lot of them would be against it, so, but that's fair enough. Again, beautiful morning. But yeah, definitely well worth doing this. I've taken about an hour 20 minutes one way, bearing in mind I'm not walking as fast as I would if I didn't have a giant fluffy thing on. Quickest I've done the return in is about 2 hours, and the longest was about 3. That was on that day that we had issues climbing that big hill we mentioned earlier. Try and get you a better angle. But yeah, as you can see, a lot of sheer rock cliffs, so you'd have big issues if any of that started coming down. Occasionally you do hear the odd rock coming down. It's enough to make you sit up and think. But yeah, no major problems so far. Hopefully it stays like that. So I've just noticed this is fairly new. This little washout piece here wasn't here last time that I was here. And again, shows you the unstable nature of the area. Alrighty, so we've made it down the single lane piece, and we're now walking back around the corner towards the gondola. And again, hopefully you've been able to see, or at least get a glimpse of why this part of the road is closed. Again, not a heck of a lot of damage up to the Pioneer Women's Memorial, but yeah, certainly between there and the Evans Pass end of the section, there's been quite a bit of damage. And again, we're just coming past this piece where there is no guardrail at all. So we're just coming back out into towards the sun. As you've seen, and as I've said before, there is not a heck of a lot of protection up here from the sun, from the wind, or if you're unlucky enough, the rain. Needless to say, timing for the suit walks for this have to be carefully selected. At the end of the day, the last thing I want to do is be up here when it turns to poo. But in saying that, we can't really get away from the sun. Beautiful day, beautiful morning means direct sun. Not a heck of a lot of cloud cover. So yeah, getting back up that hill could prove to be entertaining, but that's alright. At the end of the day, like every other fursuiter, I know, don't overdo it. Because at the end of the day, your own health is the most important thing. Doing a video is cool, but yeah, taking care of yourself should be your priority. And again, there's that sun. So again, apologies in advance for the silhouette image you'll probably be seeing. I can sort of see the camera, but yeah. All of this is taken on my cell phone, by the way. So, you know. The other thing you need to make sure is, obviously, if you're doing videos on a phone, make sure it's actually charged. So yeah, you can sort of see behind us there, the road going around the hill. And then if we spin around, that's what we're looking at. So you can see the road winding up the hill there, fairly big climb, slow and steady wins the race. Coming up to Pioneer Women Memorial and the cattle stop. So we've made it down to the Pioneer Women's Memorial. You can see nice car park area, should there be any cars. And if we come down here, looking up over Littleton, so that's looking down over Littleton. Bridle path track heads down the hill from here, so this is where it crosses the top. Yeah, absolutely beautiful area. If we come over the other side of the hill, coincidentally this is within easy reach off the gondola's top station. And out the other side. Alrighty, we'll leave the Pioneer Women's Memorial in our wake and start tracking up the hill. Again, a lot of really nice walks to do up on the Port Hills here, folks. Come and explore. Bridle Path is one of the most popular walks. I haven't done it myself, but yeah, I've heard a lot of good things. Another good one is Victoria Park. That's down on the Dyers Pass end. And also you've got CAP, Christchurch Adventure Park. I do have permission to take the big fluffy thing up their chairlift on their sightseeing trip. Take you up, get some photos and videos around the top. Be a lot easier getting to the top that way than doing it this way. So yeah, you can already hear the panting starting. That's why my tongue poking out, you know, it becomes natural. And again, full direct sun. Thankfully it's not too warm. But yeah, we'll see how we get on. If we turn the camera around, that's what we're looking at. So where we're going is up there. Don't ask me what the difference in height is, because I wouldn't know. I'd normally be running my app called Caynats, C-A-Y-N-A-X. That tracks my walks and stuff. But yeah, haven't got it running today. Seems to be somewhat malfunctioning. But yeah, already come up a fair way. Got a fair way to go. Still tracking up the hill. A few more cyclists and walkers and that coming out now. What the heck. Considering that this is my first real time spent in suit in the heat since Furdoo in Australia, I'm not doing too bad. Still climbing. Cyclists certainly get a lot of speed up coming down here. Again, you'll notice I'm walking on the right hand side of the road. That's to give maximum visibility, because a lot of these cyclists like to cut the corners. Alrighty, so we're over halfway up the hill now. You can see where we've been. We'll come up here a bit further. See where we're going. Just a light breeze happening at the moment, which is absolute godsend. Oh, Jesus. Somewhere up there. Oh, Jesus. So, we've made it up the hill. Wasn't too bad. Haven't had to go for the drink bottle in my backpack, but it's sitting there just in case. So yeah, this area over here is, I believe, Castle Rock. Lo and behold, there's a sign here. Hopefully you might have a chance of seeing this. Castle Rock. That's looking back down the hill. Lovely lady just stopped for a chat. So the area on the left here I believe is known as Castle Rock. Alrighty, so we'll start trekking down the hill. Almost everything from here back to the starting point is more or less downhill, and again you get that beautiful silhouetted image because the sun is behind me. But yeah, having a light breeze when you're doing anything like this is an absolute godsend. It makes all the difference. If you're a fursuiter, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You do the classic T-pose. But yeah, the day that I did this in the 22 degrees full sun was not pleasant. Yeah, not a breath of wind. When we got to the top of the hill, we brought up Met Service, and yeah, 21.9 degrees, so call it 22. Certainly felt hotter, but that may have been because I'm dressed like this. Hasn't been too bad. Certainly get a sweat up, and considering that I was awake for about an hour before I started the walk, my body's not doing too badly. It is complaining, but that's mostly the feet, which is understandable. Should really look at getting some new bottoms for the feet paws, because the current ones are starting to wear quite thin. So yeah, definitely need to renew them before we get into all the Christmas events. Got quite a bit coming up for relay. Got an invitation from one of the volunteers to go and ride the peace train in the Botanic Gardens. That operates on Sundays. At the moment it's running 10 AM till 1 PM. Leaves by the kiosk near the children's playground. So yeah, we'll make sure we go and do that. Past there, got the usual Santa parades and all of that sort of stuff. And of course mixed in with all the lives as more travelling around the country with the loco. Obviously this weekend I'm at home. Next weekend we take off to Hokitika, do a big run there, 10 AM till 3 PM both Saturday and Sunday. Sunday we run reverse direction, and we also run 6 PM till 9 PM on Saturday night with the associated light show. Beyond that, we've got a trip to Ashburton, which we're looking at on the 8th of October. 2 weeks after that, we head south to Invercargill for our first visit down there. So that's Labour weekend, go down on the Friday, come back on the Monday. It's a 7-hour drive one way, and yeah, run both days 10 till 4 on their track. Surrey Park, I believe, is the location. So if you're down there, it'd be good to see you coming along. Needless to say, if you don't know which one my loco is, have a look through my YouTube channel. It's fairly obvious. Can't really miss it. It's got a giant teddy bear sticking out the top of it. And yeah, beyond that, geez, what do we got? November, sometime early November, will be either a trip to Mosgiel or another trip to Timaru. And then, of course, we've got the big show weekend, Canterbury anniversary weekend at Hawesville. That's 3 days of 10 AM till 4 PM. Mixed in there is also 2 events for True Life characters in show weekend, so not sure what we're going to do there, see what comes. And beyond that, we start getting into the Santa parades. Christchurch Santa parade is last weekend in November, Kaipoi is the first weekend of December. New Brighton and Raniora second weekend of December. The third weekend of December we're looking at Mosgiel, taking the loco down there, and then we're into Christmas. So Christmas, New Year period this year, we're off to Hokitika, going over somewhere around 22nd, 23rd of December. Stay there right through Christmas Day. We've got a working bee between from Boxing Day through to the 29th. 30th is a run day, the normal Saturday run day over there. And then yeah, looking at possibly the Sunday as well, which is New Year's Eve day. New Year's Day and the 2nd of January will both be in Hokitika, although on the 2nd we'll potentially move on. Not sure at this stage about timing. Hopefully I'll be able to squeeze relay into the car along with the loco, because it'd be nice to go and get some suit stuff over there on the west coast. Beautiful scenery. And then beyond that, we're looking at going to Blenheim. They run on the 7th of January. They're looking at spending a bit of time up there, like I say, from somewhere around the 2nd or 3rd of January, potentially right through to around the 14th, and then depending on timing, possibly go to Nelson before coming home and going back to work. So I'll pause here for a minute. So again, looking down towards Littleton, back up the road where we came, and down towards Christchurch. Absolutely beautiful up here. So yeah, that is a rough plan for the events later this year. We've also got Burnham Halloween on the 26th of October. That's in conjunction with the New Zealand Defence Force. So that's a new event for us, which should be good. Lots in the planning for that, so should be a good time. Looking both ways, because you know cyclists are quite quiet. And for a wander slightly off the road, and we'll get a better view over Christchurch. So without the giant fluffy thing in the way, there's a view looking out over Christchurch, Heathcote Valley, New Brighton, and up the coast. So if you're sitting there wondering quietly how long I've been in suit for, we suited up at about 20 to 7. The time is now 8:40. So, been in suit for about 2 hours. So far we've walked about 8 kilometres. We've got about 2k to go. Seen some beautiful scenery. If you're still watching, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to see how events plan out later this year. There's certainly a lot more coming up. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things plan out. Hopefully we get good numbers from True Life Characters coming along. In case you didn't know, I'm one of the admins for True Life Characters here in Christchurch. So we are a cosplay group. We do a whole lot of community events, charity fundraisers, and all of that sort of thing. So if you know of anything coming up, feel free to get in contact. We'd love to come and add our touch of entertainment to your event. Services are completely free. If you really want to make a donation, feel free to make it to a charity. Just have a chat to the attendees and find out which one they'd like. But yeah, we do all of that sort of stuff free of charge. None of us get paid. Sometimes it would be nice, especially when you deal with kids with pulling tails and all of that sort of thing. Thankfully, don't have that problem up here. So here's a quick snapshot of where we are. We're not too far away from the end. Certainly making some good strides with our progress. Not very far away from that other car park at all. Probably another 10-15 minutes. We're just about to turn the one of the last corners on the Summit Road. Back to the car, home for a shower. And this evening we're off to McLean's Island for their night run. Ironically, relay's staying home. But yeah, thank you very much for coming on this journey with us. Hopefully you've enjoyed our video. As always, feel free to share it around with your friends and stuff. And also let me know where you're from. Because a lot of people see these videos, but yeah, I'd love to know where you're from. If you're on Telegram, Railfur93 is my username. Feel free to hit us up. Always up for a chat. If I don't reply, then it means I'm either in suit, playing trains, working, or asleep. Generally. Or doing something important. Also, obviously, if you're on Facebook, Relay Rail Dog, exactly the same name as the channel here. Another thing as well, feel free to drop a comment as to where you think I should do the next Suitwalk. But yeah, cheers for watching.